everyone. Welcome back to our podcast and the series called High School Memories. My name is Lir, and I'll be your host today. So, without further ado, let's dive into today's episode and embark on a great journey together. Get ready to be engaged, entertained, and inspired. Today's topic will be about the impact of social media on my friends and on teenagers in general. Well, what exactly is social media, you may be asking? Social media can be summed up as a means of interactions among people in which they create, share, and/or exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. Originally, social media was intended to simply be a method for people to interact with their friends and family. These days, however, social media has developed and expanded to serve a variety of different purposes. Examples of popular social media sites are TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and Facebook. Recent studies from January 2023 have shown that nearly 4.8 billion people around the world actively use social media, with the number only seeming to grow. So, it's not a surprise that it has such an effect on so many people, specifically adolescents, who are going through a phase of intense physical and psychological development. With that being said, let's dive into today's topic. Let's discuss the negative and positive effects of social media on today's adolescents. Let's start off with the negative effects. Social media has driven countless ordinary teenage boys and girls to attempt to emulate the opulence of their favorite celebrity double-digit millionaire on their Instagram feed. It has caused countless teenagers to loathe themselves simply because they aren't capable of keeping up with crazy standards, which are especially unattainable for someone their age. You may be curious about why these teenagers try so hard to meet these unrealistic standards, and the answer is simple. They aren't aware of all the hard work that goes behind creating this image of perfection we see. They compare themselves to millionaires who have entire teams which specifically work to create a false image of flawlessness, not being aware that it is absolutely not what a normal person looks like. And when they see their peers comply with these crazy standards, it only creates this weird type of chain reaction which only pressures the ones not complying to do the same, making them think it's normal. This has created a new generation of teenagers with low self-esteem, caused by the fact that they cannot keep up with the insane standards they've set upon themselves. A 2017 study, based on a survey taken by almost 6,000 adolescent students, showed that there is a very apparent correlation between low self-esteem, depression symptoms, and addiction-like use of social media sites in teenagers. Another study also supports this, showing that usage of social media can lead teenagers to experience low-quality sleep, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Personally, I've seen the effects that social media has on my friends. I've seen how it can ruin someone's self-esteem and belief in themselves, how it subliminally imposes doubts into one's mind. Most people under the quote-unquote spell of social media don't even realize how abnormal their thought process is. Having such negative thoughts during such a crucial transitional phase like adolescence is bound to have negative long-term effects. Another negative aspect of social media is how it makes you feel addicted to it. Social media addiction goes hand to hand with dopamine addiction. Now, if you're wondering what dopamine is essentially a feel-good chemical linked to pleasurable activities such as sex, food, and social interaction. Functional brain imaging studies show that, in response to a variety of rewarding social stimuli such as attractive faces, positive emotional expressions, and one's own social status, dopaminergic reward pathways are activated. Social media sites are specifically designed to cause your brain to produce dopamine by exposing you to the aforementioned rewarding social stimuli, making you want to come back for more. That is how social media gets you hooked. Social media addiction also creates several other problems. Alongside having a negative impact on your mental health, social media addiction additionally causes problems when it comes to time management. A lot of people will find it hard not to procrastinate when you consider the dopamine aspect of social media addiction alone. But then there's also the problems that come with having access to a virtually endless library of information and entertainment. Social media apps literally customize their feeds to be specifically appealing to the user's taste. It's very difficult to not get sucked in these sites and lose track of your time. Not only does this lead to procrastination when it comes to schoolwork, but the same factors can affect sleep as well. Studies suggest that there is a negative relation between use of technology and sleep, stating that social media may directly affect sleep in three different ways. It either replaces sleep due to its time-consuming nature, it interferes with sleep through its increased psychological arousal caused by the stimulating content of the material, or through bright light exposure. Quality of sleep is also proven to be connected to mental health. At this point, it must have already become apparent that all negative aspects of social media addiction seem to be intertwined with each other. So, how do we tackle these problems head on? First off, we must start educating teenagers about the dangers of social media and how it can affect your mind. If people are aware of the problems that are caused and why these problems are caused, they are less susceptible to being harmed by social media and getting addicted to it. We must promote digital literacy programs in our schools and in our communities so we can protect people. Another thing we must do is get the parents involved. Parents must be monitoring what their children do online and how much they are active on social media sites. If the parents are well informed on what their child is doing and is the one managing how much screen time their child gets, then a lot of sleep and time management problems are easily solved. Studies show that good relationship with parents, effective parenting, and parental emotional availability could provide adolescents with a stable and safe environment for growth and help prevent them from developing internet addiction. Another crucial step would be promoting offline interactions, encouraging teenagers to interact with one another in real life so they understand the importance of real-life connections and how there is even more happiness and satisfaction from interacting with real people on a daily basis rather than wasting your time on your phone. And, to introduce my next talking point, we also have to teach teenagers what the positive aspects of social media are and how to utilize the positive aspects to their gain. But first, we must define what the positive aspects of social media are. So, what are these positive aspects? In my opinion, there are multiple positive aspects to social media. However, there are two main things I'd like to focus on: education/learning and online health support. First off, I'll start with the importance of education in relation to social media. As we mentioned before, social media allows access to a virtually endless library of information which you have at your fingertips, for free, all provided by credible sources. If the user is smart enough, social media can even be utilized to conduct thought experiments and other experiments of this sort. In fact, the script for this podcast I'm writing right now would be very difficult to make without access to social media. Social media can also provide teachers with the means of communication with their students even outside of school. But it doesn't only stop there. Social media allows students to network and create connections with other people which become useful in the future. We must teach young people how to properly utilize social media to put themselves at an advantage in academics. The second good aspect of social media is online health support. Social media allows access to mental health communities for those who feel like they cannot open up about their issues to their real-life friends and family. These online health communities provide patients and their families means to learn about illnesses, to seek and offer social support, and to connect with others suffering from similar illnesses. 1 in 4 of people with an illness have gone online to find other people who share similar experiences, because they simply can't find other people like them in real life without great difficulty. Teenagers with various conditions such as cancer, diabetes, and other rare diseases have benefited greatly from these networks' emotional and informational support. It is especially crucial that teenagers have access to this type of support, as they often might feel outcast due to whatever illness they may be suffering from, and are in a time in their life where they need social interaction and support even more than usual.